Welcome back. I'm joined once again by Bonnie Crombie, leader of Ontario's Liberal Party. Of course, we're just one day away now from the provincial election campaign. So, Bonnie, really appreciate it again. I'm sorry we had to cut you off before we went to break there, but I was asking you about this 30% figure that you're hearing the Progressive Conservatives and Doug Ford touting now, where they're claiming that they actually invested more than the previous Liberal government. The Ontario Health Coalition is actually being quite quick to correct the record, saying that the figure is closer to about 20%. But is that still as significant of an increase as the government is painting it as?
What I know is this is the highest spending government on record. Never has been so much money spent to do so little, honestly. And including their healthcare plan, it's a drop in the bucket versus what our hospitals need, what our medical system needs. In fact, what they're investing into healthcare is a small fraction of what they've given to a foreign-owned spa at Ontario Place, 2.1 billion that they've given away. This is a government marked by giveaways and gimmicks, including the pre-election checks. Yes, it's great to get a $200 check once. It helped you top up your rent and buy groceries. But what about next month? And if people realize that costs $3 billion, wouldn't they have been happier to put that money into healthcare so they too could have a family doctor? Because that's what our plan costs, $3 billion to ensure that we lower the wait times in our hospitals and give everyone access to a family doctor.
And Bonnie, just as much as Doug Ford's government, it seems, is struggling with this idea of healthcare workers and doctors, again, going back to what they're saying, they are often very quick to point out that the governments of some of your predecessors, like Kathleen Wynne and Dalton McGuinty, struggled in the same way with hospital wait times. Of course, that is still an issue. And I think a lot of people right now are just pointing out that the overall state of the healthcare system is quite disastrous. So, why is the Ontario Liberal record, though, specifically on an issue like healthcare, better than that of the Progressive
So
Conservatives or even the NDP when they were in office?
So I am not here to defend previous governments. I'm looking forward. I'm a different kind of leader. But I will tell you that there weren't ER closures when there was a Liberal government, and we had 1,200 of them last year. 1 in 5 closed. That's unheard of. 2 million more people had a family doctor, and 23 hospitals were built. So I'm not defending. I'm looking forward. I'm going to put $3 billion into attracting 3,100 doctors, and I'm putting that money into the healthcare system because everyone shares the view that access to better medicine, a strong publicly funded healthcare system is what's critical for this province, getting the basics right for people. And those are my priorities. And I think this government's priorities are the wrong ones. You know, they're prioritizing their rich friends and insiders. They released their platform. I've never seen such a high spending platform. The only people who are benefiting are lobbyists and rich insiders, not the real people of Ontario who see our crumbling healthcare system, our crumbling education system, a lack of investment in both. And the reality is Doug Ford's deliberately underfunded our healthcare system because he wants to move to private medicine. He knows his buddies will make more money if they open private clinics. So I'm very cynical about his intention because I know he's deliberately underfunding the system and that hospitals are using nursing agencies because their nurses are quitting. They're using lines of credit because they're not properly funded. They don't have their operating costs properly funded. And that is a deliberate effort on the part of Doug Ford.
And let's pick up on another kind of issue in which is often talked about with respect to underfunding, and that is education. I know you've been talking about it a lot lately as well. Myself, I was part of the public education system here in Ontario for quite some time, and a lot of my friends, of course, still are. So, from your perspective, what are you going to do to kind of help address some of these shortfalls that we're seeing that were heightened over the course of the pandemic and it seems never have really been able to make a full recovery?
So that's a great question. And again, we see overcrowded classrooms and crumbling schools. So we've got to address both. We need to recruit more teachers, and I'm going to give them a 1 year. I'm going to implement a 1 year teaching certificate just to get more teachers in the schools. We need obviously more special ed teachers for our kids that have, special needs. We're going to build 90 new schools and allocate a lot of money behind repairing that backlog of schools that need to be better maintained and rebuilt.
Mm.
And we're going to offer a lunch program. And then here, I'm going to ensure that kids get the counseling they need. Because
Mm.
I've never seen the levels of anxiety among our kids, eating disorders, mental health issues, the substance abuse that we're seeing, the high suicide rates. And this is very sad to me. So in my government, we believe that mental health is health, and
Mhm.
mental health should be covered by OHIP. And so we're going to ensure that everyone has access to the counseling and the treatment that they need. And that is not offered by any government or any party right now. And Wyatt, you may well know that I'm a child of a dad who had some very serious addiction issues, alcohol addiction issues, and never received the help that he needed